All right, I am not good at this. I mean, I'm still under the belief that technology is just another word for magic. We are all casting spells. So I went to kick a possible helicopter, and in the process, it kicked both of us. So I tried to come back, and then there was fucking two, and it wouldn't let me cancel the other one out, and I could hear a fucking echo, and it just went on, and I couldn't fucking handle it anymore. And I fucking cracked into the pressure, and then, oh, probably a bad idea to come back. What's up, moments? So if you were like a legit person and I accidentally kicked you, that's really the only reason I came back because I'm not sure. I was just trying to look at you. I just wanted to look. But if you don't do it in about 3 minutes, I'm done because I'm bored. And y'all were in the middle of a. I hate to interrupt a coffee discussion. But yeah, my daughter had got me a prescription. Damn it, you know where my mind's at. Subscription to Black Rifle Coffee. Um, and every month you got, I think it was 2 bags, and then you could choose. But every different kind that I tried, I liked real well, so I couldn't really say. If I had to pick one, I would say that Blackbeard's Delight. I don't know. They're all good, in my opinion. Did FCC ever show up? He showed up. He was back in the chat. He's driving right now, so we're going to cut him a break. Or at least he says he's driving, or whoever has his phone says that he's driving. But it wasn't, unless he changed his name on there, it wasn't FCC that was trying to come up. All right, sorry about that. This was a bad idea. I should have just stayed off. Hold on 1 second. All right, never mind. Oh yeah, Yeah, I guess it would help if I put the link out, huh? That's pretty stupid. Here I am telling you to come back up, and there's no link. I'll get you one in a second. Hold on. There you go. I'll start the clock over now. You've got about 3 minutes. I think I'm out of notifications anyway. Yes, I had a massive echo, and I can't talk. Like I can't get past it. So somehow when I came back up, like it kicked. I went to kick whoever it was, and I somehow I probably my thumb hit something, but kicked both of us. But then when I came back up, there was two, and I could hear an echo. And then when I went to get rid of the one, I still had a fucking echo even after I got rid of it. So, and I just can't get past that. What's up, Ronnie? Hey, at least we got Ronnie back. We got Rob Deep with Hooters. I get a feeling that there's like a hidden message in that name. I'm just not seeing it. You got Rob Deep in between two Hooters. Am I reading too much into that, or is there something to it? I mean, we got double vowels and double consonants, not necessarily in that order. Why back? What happened? I fucked up JFK, and there was two of me up here, and one is too many. So like nothing major happened. I fucked up. I'm thinking too much. You know what? I've actually never been accused of that before. I think you and Ronnie are in it together because she's also got a double thing in there. I actually think you're working together. I can't ignore it, naughty assistant. I can't talk when I can hear myself, and it's got to be annoying for everybody else too. So fuck it. I'll just nuke everything and start over. Music intermissions is a. I don't see. I mean, I could play it from my other. Actually, I've got a 32-inch soundbar, but I can't play it. I have to play it from an outside source. I can't screen share, so I could play music on here, but it would sound like shit anyway. So, oh, JFK, I don't blame you. It was pretty boring, if I'm being honest. Sorry to wake you back up. Oh, Rob, nothing is ever that simple. There are certain people that panel all the time and are too stupid to do it correctly. Well, if you're talking to me, Bill's not. I'm well aware that I have no idea what I'm doing. That's why I need an assistant. If I wasn't so stupid, you'd be unemployed. You realize that, right? Yeah, I probably shouldn't have come back, but I hate to interrupt a coffee conversation. I know that, assistant, but for real though, I don't. I have like I can barely operate a phone. So yeah, I'm at a huge disadvantage because I have no way to screen share. Although if you ask FM, he can screen share from his phone, but we all know he tells the truth all the time, right? Yes, Moments Live. Yep. In case you all missed it, Moments Live is my vice president. I need all the help I can get. Yeah, Ken, I just imagine like if you were in high school, right, and somebody walked up to you and handed you a cell phone, you know, like we have now, and they were like, "Hey, you can take pictures on this." Oh, okay. Where do you put the film? Well, it doesn't take film. What do you mean it doesn't take film? Well, no, and you can take thousands of pictures. It's like what? No film, and it'll take thousands of pictures. Okay, you'd think somebody was lying to you. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, you can watch TV on it too." What? You can watch TV on this little thing, really? Oh yeah, in color, really? Like you would totally think somebody's full of shit. Oh, and you can call people on it and send text messages. What the fuck is a text message? Well, like when you write stuff down on post-it notes, except you can do it on here. What? You would think somebody was totally full of shit. And you can send dick pics. Well, what the fuck's a dick pic? Yeah, and you can have your own TV show on here. What? You mean like I can get on here and talk like on TV and other people see it? Yeah, in color. Yeah, you think somebody was totally full of crap. Yeah, it hooks right up to the internet. What the fuck is the internet? Imagine explaining a purple shirt to a medieval peasant. PatCon, I have a feeling that purple punishers have been around since the dawn of man. I'm pretty sure that ever since people realized that they had buttholes, they've been sticking stuff in there that ain't supposed to be. 20 years ago, you would have thought the text messages would become the world's main means of, yeah, right. You can watch JT Colfax. What the fuck is a JT Colfax? You'll learn. Imagine asking your girlfriend to peg you. Yeah, I'm into some kinky shit, but that's not one of them. Oh yeah, I never had a pager. Fuck, I didn't even have a cell phone until I just refused to get one. I didn't have a cell phone until I didn't have a cell phone until I became a bondsman, and that was in 2004. I just refused to get one. I'm like, if you want to I just didn't want people to be able to get a hold of me 24/7. And now I see why. Can't ever get a hold of you, man. Well, I don't want to be gotten a hold of. Leave a message. Back when, I mean, oh yeah, and when somebody calls you, it'll tell you who's calling before you pick it up. I remember when caller ID first came on. Uh, it was like $4.99 a month extra on your landline, and you had to buy a box that was separate from the phone, at least at first. But that was how I kept getting these hang up calls. Like somebody called me in the middle of the night, and you could hear girls laughing and stuff. And that was really the main reason I even got the caller ID. And people just weren't aware of it. And they called one night, and I called them right back, and they were freaked the fuck out. Like they thought I was in the FBI or some shit. It turns out it was just girls wanting to have fun. I had a girlfriend at the time, so I didn't entertain it, but yeah. Yeah, Josh, what exactly is pegging? Please enlighten us. Got your first cell phone yeah, do you like it? When I first got mine, of course I had a 2-year commitment to the devil. They're like, oh yeah, it's whatever it was, $99 a month, but it was always like double that. Um, like my very first one, it was 10 cents per text message, and then they went to your first 1,000 text messages are free, and then it's 5 cents after that. Which you'd be surprised at how fast you go through 1,000 text messages, really. But the clear plastic pager was, like I said, I never had a pager. I mean, our thing was, be home before the street lights come on, and you'd just be gone and do whatever. Carrier pigeons are more interesting than cell phones. Yeah, I agree. Party lines, yeah, I remember the old party lines, man. You'd be on the same phone. For those of you that don't know, you would be on the same phone line as your neighbors. So if you were having a phone conversation, they could pick up their phone and listen to it. And then if you wanted to make a call, you'd have to wait till they got done. My my grandma was on a party line with her nosy relatives, so she got a whistle, and like when she heard them click on, she'd blow that fucking whistle into the phone. Oh yeah, I remember the days if you wanted to make a long distance phone call, you'd have to talk to an operator and tell her your phone number. Tommy accused me of calling him today. Yeah, I think Meow has done a lot of that shit, but I also think he's been blamed for things that he didn't really do. Used to be fast with T9 texting. Man, I'm not sure I remember T9. I remember T1. I remember when T1 was like the ultimate. It would still take 8 hours to download a song, but 56K and then T1 and whatever. I don't remember all of them. I remember when digital. I used to be pretty heavy into photography. Back when you developed your own film and shit. And then I remember the first digital cameras that came out. They weren't even 2 megapixels. They were like 1.3 or something like that. Then it went up to 1.8, and then like every 3 months they would bump it up a little bit. And each time it was like, holy shit, these pictures look so good. And then you look at them a couple years later, like, oh, that looks like shit. Oh yeah, I knew a few people that would run up long distance phone bills for only 30 cents a day. You can support a struggling Alex. Hey, for less than the price of a new car, you can support a struggling sea monkey every month. Napster. Oh yeah, you had to be careful on Napster. You could download some nasty shit, or they constantly had the wrong names of the songs on and stuff. Yeah, yeah, it was illegal. But see, that's the thing. Napster, the people that they sued were just like, it was like they picked them at random. They were just like ordinary, everyday people, and they just wanted to make examples out of people, and it did. I remember the Metallica versus Napster thing. Lars specifically. I mean, he was right, but he was also being a white bitch at the time. Yeah, and for a long time, I was the only one in like my group of friends that uh, had a CD burner. So of course they would, everybody went. I was happy to do it, but people started really abusing the privilege, and I'm like, motherfuckers, because they would bring me whole stacks of shit to burn. Okay, burn this song and that song and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, I don't mind doing it for you, but come on. So I actually started charging people to burn CDs for them. And it wasn't because I needed the money. I wasn't trying to be a dick. It was just because they were trying to take advantage of the situation. LimeWire, yeah, I remember LimeWire. That's another thing, if they'd be like, oh, by the way, your phone can catch a virus. Like, how does a fucking phone, how does a computer, how does that, how does it, what? You know, Pirate Bay, yeah. One of them had CP. Oh shit. Yeah, you had to be careful because you don't know what you're downloading until after it's downloaded. And they can make it anything they want. I remember before they started putting restrictions on, I mean, you would run into some nasty, nasty stuff on there. Like I remember, and I admit I was willfully looking for porn, but I wasn't looking for chicks fucking horses. I wasn't, yeah, like I didn't, of course, nothing really, the depravity of the human being never really surprises me, but It's like, where do they find girls that are willing to do this on film? They're probably doing it for crack, I would imagine, but I mean, like, it was funny, once the shock wore off. It was funny the first couple of times, but yeah. Does anybody remember Goatsy? It's only slightly more disgusting than Two Girls, One Cup. Faces of Death. Yeah, Oogie. That was another thing. If you wanted a Faces of Death video, you would have to find a place that would even sell them. Most places wouldn't. By the time I got the Faces of Death videos, they were copies of copies of copies of copies, and then you have to sneak around and make sure your, you know, parents don't catch you watching it. Same thing with porn, man. It was a lot harder to get before the internet. Like you had to have like a pervert uncle you could steal his magazines from. Or like in our school, we had a janitor. Like at the time, I didn't realize it. Um, I just thought he was, a cool, weird dude. But we had a janitor when I was in high school that used to sell us porn and alcohol and all kinds of shit. I look back now and like that dude was selling porn to high school kids. And he was like, I don't know how old he was, but he was balding. Now I realize that he was a fucking predator of some kind. You only found porn in the woods. I used to hide it in the woods. Man, if my parents would have caught me with some of the shit that I had, oh fuck. I mean, it's tame now. It was like Penthouse and Chick and stuff like that, but which is really considered tame compared to what you find on the internet. But back in the day, it was a highly sought after commodity. Bill went to Catholic school. No, sir. I hung out at a Catholic college when I got a little older. I was dating college chicks when I was still in high school. Jugs magazine. I don't remember that one. That might be. I don't think I remember that one. Yeah, for a Catholic school college, St. Joseph's had a lot of fucking depravity there. Like the priests were even in on it. Supposedly a dry campus, but it had its own bar, and it was the dorms were anything but dry. If you haven't bumped a line off of a porno mag in the woods, you haven't lived. I would have to agree with that, Rob. Actually, there's probably still some porn buried back there. In fact, I might know where it's at. Anybody want to go dig up a couple old penthouses from 1987? Oh yeah, Playboy was a. Even though it didn't really show, Playboy didn't really show much other than tits and hair, but still. Hustler, yeah. Oh yeah, Hustler and Penthouse were. I was in like eighth grade or so. I don't know, maybe it was, I don't know, between sixth and eighth grade. I was at my friend's house and he's like, "You want to go look at my dad's Playboys?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we went in there and he was starting to dig them out, and his mom came home. Um, we weren't supposed to be upstairs. She yelled up there, "What are you guys doing?" And my buddy just starts crying. I'm like, he's going to blame something on me. He's going to blame this whole thing on me, and I'm going to have to go home and do the walk of shame, and I'm going to be grounded. And he made up some story about we were looking for something else and whatever, found it by accident. And he said he was crying because he was ashamed that his dad had Playboys, and it totally worked. We didn't get into any trouble, although she did have to warn my mom that I had seen something I shouldn't have seen. Careful of the electric internet lines, right? Cut up porn meds make great powder envelopes. Huh. I don't think I've ever had the pleasure. I might have to now. I mean, do they charge extra for that or? I mean, I remember when Alice Cooper was considered offensive. I mean, look what you have to do now to get banned. It's Alice Cooper. Oh my God. I mean, no shit. They used to churches used to like picket against Alice Cooper and Ozzy Osbourne. Man, the fucking satanic panic of the '80s. I survived that shit, man. I've got stories. Hmm. I've gotten it before where it was in wax paper that's folded up into little envelopes, and I hate it, man. Because you got to be careful how you open them. If you do it too fast, and the shit pops up, and you fucking lose some of it, which is probably the plan to begin with. I mean, my neighbors, not my neighbors now, but my old neighbors have seen me out in the yard, fucking, uh, just out in the yard with a straw, snorting shit because I dropped a little packet of Coke when it popped open. You ever try to snort Coke off of grass, man? Son of Sam Killer was in a satanic cult. Yeah. Am I thinking of the right one? Son of Sam, or am I thinking of who am I thinking of? Turned out to actually be more than one guy, but only one guy got caught. But man, am I thinking of the right guy? That's David Bokerowitz, what, right? Carpet. Oh yes, Carpet is a bitch too. I've heard, allegedly. I mean, Berber's a little bit easier than shag, but that's the thing about Coke, though. I mean, Coke is great and all, but uh, sometimes what's even more fun is the stories around it. You'd rather hang out with a carpet guy than a door watcher or a window watcher. Yeah, no doubt. I knew a dude, and again, this was before I was really, uh, before the doctors turned me into a pill addict. This dude, his job was like when houses got foreclosed on or people just abandoned him or whatever the deal was. His job was to go in and get all the stuff out, and he had 5 gallon buckets of old medications people left behind. Like he would just keep them in five, had fucking bottle after bottle in these 5 gallon buckets. He'd be like, "Hey man, you want to try some of these?" And at the time, I wasn't really into it, but so I declined. But oh wow, yeah, I don't, I never, I've never intentionally done meth. I'm sure that I've gotten it in some coke or whatever, but uh, I just don't like how people act on that shit. I don't like how a lot of people act on coke either, but or the people that will take their engines apart for no apparent reason and lay all the parts very neatly on a clean sheet or tablecloth in their front yard at 3 o'clock in the morning. Some guy got some DMT that was cookies in a meth lab and he went into psychosis. Dude, meth will do that, man. So will DMT. But uh, yeah, man, I was in some places. Oh, this one was really heartbreaking. The mom had a warrant for her arrest for missing court, and some of these some people, like especially at first, like every like their place is super clean because they fucking just clean all night. Like they'll clean so much they rub the paint off the walls. But after a while, they forget about cleaning at all. And I went to serve this warrant, and she had little kids, man, like little stair step from toddler. I don't know, from toddler on up to like 6, whatever, like between 2 and 6. Um, 4 of them, and there was fine dust all over the place, and I thought it was just like regular household dust, but no. Um, we always tried to keep people's kids out of CPS if we could, and I'm like, hey, can you call somebody to come and get your kids? And she's like, no, there's nobody, and whatever. Um, and just like there was just a lot of evidence of meth there. So I couldn't just not do anything. So I ended up calling the county, be like, hey, I got these little kids out here, and they sent the whole fucking uh, decon team with them. And turns out that fine dust all over everything wasn't regular household dust; it was all meth. Like they tested my boots. My boots had it on it, and yeah, it was horrible because those little kids had to, like they decontaminated the kids right on the spot. They set up like a portable tent thing with a shower in it, and you know, mommy's going to eat. No matter how much of a dirtbag their parent is, they still want mommy. And yeah, but the kids all tested positive for meth, and yeah, not cool. Yeah, he could use meth successfully. I mean, people do all right on it like the first 6 months or so, but after that, man, it's just a fucking monkey you can't get rid of. Yeah, I feel like I didn't keep, like, I don't know whatever happened to those kids. I do think about it quite a bit, though. Probably more than I should. Like, I mean, depends on how much I do and what kind of mood I'm in and what I'm mixing it with, but like, I can do coke and just chill on the couch and uh, write songs or draw like a motherfucker. But the thing but when it does go, this is why I like to do it by myself, is because when I do turn into an asshole, like yeah, it's horrible. And pets can actually, just from being around it, like if they're the little labs. Sometimes a lab can be done just in a like a 2 liter pop bottle. Um, that can be a lab, but people that are making it all the time, like their pets can actually get hooked on it. I mean, they're not like directly, well, maybe they are, but like just having it floating around all over the place, uh, pets get inadvertently hooked on it too. You do draw that has nothing to do with pencils. Hey, I feel you. I feel you, man. You think cocaine should be legal? Honestly, you think they're afraid people would be too much total bosses? Seriously, a couple 20 plus years users, both have jobs, make good money. One has a family. Yeah, you don't see that with meth. There's no such thing as a long-term successful meth user that I know of. But yeah, I know people like that too. I mean, there's an argument, and I can see both sides of it. Um, because the war on drugs is not a war on substances; it's a war on people. And if you knew you could go someplace and it was consistent, it was always the same strength, and you knew there was nothing else in it, that would stop a lot of people from dying. And That's another thing. There is such a thing as functional addicts. There are people that can be addicted and still keep a job. But if you fail a piss test, then all of a sudden you're unemployed. You're, too hooked to get off of it, but so it puts a lot of people out of work, and then they really start doing scumbag shit to support their habit. That's when they start stealing. You know, instead of spending billions of dollars every year throwing flash grenades at grandmas and fucking baby beds, which happens more than you would think. Put that money into people that want treatment. You know, I mean, I know a lot of addicts that. I mean, we all do. They would like to get clean, but they can't take the time off of work, or they don't want that stigma on them. I know there's no good answer. Used to be able to go to work at Wendy's when you were 16 off of 4 Xanax. Yeah, I mean, you get a tolerance to. I mean, I used to take ungodly amounts of oxys and Xanax, but I never got hooked on the benzos. I don't know how I didn't get hooked. I just because I would take quite a bit. One time they would switch back and forth. I'd like it was going to help. The doctor would switch back and forth between Xanax and Klonopin, and then they would give me something else, some other kind of benzodiazepine at night to sleep. So for a while, I was getting Xanax and Halcyon at the same time. uh, yeah, it didn't end well, but I never got hooked on it. I never got hooked on Coke or alcohol either. I'm not saying anybody else should try it. I've been very lucky, but the pain pills, on the other hand, that's a huge problem. I'm definitely hooked on them. They flooded high schools with green Chinese Zans. Huh? That's the thing, man. They can make pills that look exactly like the real thing, but they're actually fentanyl. The drug game has changed a lot in the last 10 years. All right, y'all. Evidently, I'm not paying somebody enough attention. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't see your message until now. Yeah, Rob, they put it in everything, man. It's like I'm not above doing a speedball. coke and whatever opiate at the same time. I've intentionally done it, but just fucking tell me. You know what I mean? I'm probably gonna buy it anyway. Just stop telling me it's pure coke. And but yeah, it's better to stay off of all of it. Like none of it's good. When I mean, he's talking about it openly, so like when I see a young fella like Anthony, uh, I'm nobody that can lecture anybody else on abusing stuff, but dude, just you know, quit now while you can. I mean, at the end of the day, all the fucking stories I tell, except for the horror stories, uh, I make it sound like fun, but at the end of the day, when something's really got you, it's not. It's fun for a while, and yeah, it can ease your mind on certain things and make you think your head's in a better place, but that only lasts for so long. And then you've got the same problems plus a drug problem, and it's just not cool. Moments I will draw you if I can draw you like my French girls. I don't really draw too much anymore. I have a lot of nerve damage, and I get aggravated. But um, yeah, art was my thing. You wouldn't mind? Well, I mean, if you're serious, you can hit me up. We can talk about it. I've done that for people in the past, and I'm always very discreet about it. I don't run around and show it to people. Sounds like you're looking for a wedding gift for your significant other. I'll have to. It's been a while since I've drawn anything like that. I'll have to. I gotta wait. There are days when I just can't control my fingers enough to do the fine detail. But when I have good days, I can still draw pretty decently. So I'll have to practice up before I make any promises. Right on. I've got. Well, that's the thing is I can't really show them off, but I've got like a portfolio of like ex girlfriends and stuff that I drew. I yeah, I can't show those. I just don't want it to be a situation where you send me pictures or whatever, where I fly out. I don't know how you want to work it, but I don't want to run into a situation where like you send me pictures and then don't get a drawing in return. You know what I mean? I would that would yeah, not cool. She won a $900 leave. Oh, awesome! I won. I mean, it's been a very long time, but I won a lot of art competitions. I had I think I've told the story probably 100 times already, but I had a scholarship for art school when I was in high school. Um, but they sent there are a lot of weirdos in the art world, and my parents at the time were very, very. I mean, they still are, but not as bad. Just very anti-gay. So I mean, the things were pretty much set up. But when they went in to sign the paperwork, the art school sent like two of the flaminest gay guys and to present it to them. And my mom and dad were like, "We're not signing that. Those no, no. You'll catch the gay. We don't want you to be around them and blah blah blah." So they wouldn't sign the papers because I was too young at the time. And then, like by the time I got old enough to sign for myself, there was no deal anymore. So you guys remember those? They used to have ads in magazines and newspapers all the time, and it'd be a real simple drawing. And it said, "If you can draw this, then you can win whatever." Uh, a scholarship for art school or whatever. I never did that, but a friend of mine did. And um, it wasn't exactly a scam, but what it wound up being is like they gave you quote unquote free tuition to the school, but every other week you had to buy these expensive ass books to learn how to draw, and that's where they got you. The tuition was free. They're like, oh yeah, we're whatever, but you had to buy their materials to learn from, and they wound up being about 10 times what it would cost you in a bookstore. Hey, anything for my vice president. I won a contest when I was a junior, I think. Um, and because I won that contest, they actually displayed it at the art museum in Indianapolis for 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. And then I never got it back. I don't know what the fuck happened to it. I never got my uh, painting back. Gay dudes are crazy playing with, but well, yeah, it's not my thing either. But um, see, the thing was, is like they sent the two fruitiest gay guys that they could have possibly found. They were wearing matching uh, like berets and the fucking black turtleneck sweaters. And you got to keep in mind that I went to high school in the middle of a cornfield, just not in a place that's not welcoming to that kind of lifestyle. Um, and it just, yeah, it didn't go very well. Yeah, I wouldn't be a very good gay guy. I've got a terrible gag reflex when it comes to certain things. All right, y'all. I think I about had enough tonight. All this talk about naked chicks has got me a little bit worked up. I'm not going to lie. All right, hon. I see your message. I'll call you in a minute. All right, y'all. Got to run. Thank you for hanging out with me. And of course, stay naked so I can draw your pictures.